What's going on, guys? IkeGuitar here. Now, typically, I'd go through some guitar video with you guys, but today is something special. I'm going on the road, going on tour, and I'm playing bass. Yes, I play bass. I don't have a channel about bass, sadly, but I'm going to tell you today what I bring for a loadout when I go and play bass on the road. Let's go through what I bring. Alright, so first off, what kind of bass do you bring on a bass gig? Well, I would argue it depends on the genre and what you're most comfortable with, but you're not going to go wrong with a P bass. Baby, the P bass is the king of all basses. I love my P bass, made by the boys at Rust. You know it, you love it. 30th Street Guitars in New York City. I got this custom bass a long time ago. I love it. Unfinished maple neck, wound strings, incredible Fiesta red finish, and of course we've got pickups. We've got a precision set, and we've got a jazz pickup, okay? So I can get some cool jazz bass sounds, but let's be honest here, for most bass players, and I would argue all of us, we're only gonna use one pickup the whole set, and it's gonna be that P set, okay? I've got this incredible bass, I love it, it's amazing, but what do I use to get my sounds? Hey, I'm glad you asked what kind of sounds I get for my bass, and they all come through my Kemper Profiler. I love the Kemper, it's especially good for bass. I'll have you know, okay? Kemper Profiler lets you profile a bunch of different amps, preamps, DIs, you name it, and lets you play great bass tones at the touch of a button. You don't really have to add much with the Kemper outside of just your profile because it does a lot of amplification for you. And that being said, if I do like to change out my tones, I am bringing the Kemper Profiler Remote. Ta-da! This thing is also great because it lets me do a tuner on the fly. Now the reason why I use Kemper and not running a tube DI or something like that, mainly because you do with what you got. Also, tube DIs are very expensive and fragile in the air, and so if I need to fly with these, which I am flying, it's about 15-20 pounds of extra stuff. Got a flight case for it, and it all fits together in one box, giving me a whole lot of ease of access. Also, not a lot of stuff to carry into the airport, which is very helpful. Now, how do I carry my bass in and around the airport? Well, I don't actually fly it in a flight case. I don't like to put my bass into the hull of an airplane. I'm actually going to carry it on with this insane Gator Pro 2 bass gig bag. Now, why would I pick a Gator gig bag over another case, like maybe mono or blue? Well, I really like this case because it has a removable headstock adjustment tool. So, because I play guitar a lot too, I'm not gonna give up a month on the road of no practice for my guitar. So I gotta bring one. So I'm bringing an electric guitar with me, and this case lets me have an adjustable headstock relief for my electric guitar, which means I can take a bass and an electric guitar all in one. They don't make cases like that, and so I needed to improvise, hence the Gator Pro gig bag. Now what about the accoutrement, bass care, all that jazz? Well, jazz. But I've actually got a couple things I would recommend to you guys. First off, GHS Fast Frets. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff so much. It is a string cleaner and a lubricant. I don't really change my bass strings all that much, I'll be honest with you, but I do clean the crap out of them after every show. Now that being said, GHS has a lot of pieces. It's got a stick, and it's got a cloth, and it's got a cap, and all this stuff. If you want something a bit more low profile, I also recommend the D'Addario XLR8 string lubricant and cleaner. They're essentially similar, okay? It's pretty much WD-40 you put on your strings, or deoxidizer, or whatever. I'm not super picky, but these things are great for on the road, and you're gonna need it. If you're gonna play bass every night, it's gonna get sweaty, gonna get nasty. You better clean it, or you pay for it later. Now, speaking of making your bass nice and squeaky clean, I've also got the Gibson Guitar Pump and Polish. I do really love this stuff, mainly because it's good on all finishes, okay? Even unfinished maple boards like my guy over here. Now, you don't typically clean maple boards, I get that, but hear me out. The Gibson Guitar Pump and Polish also makes your guitar feel silky smooth, okay? Nah, I'm all about that when I'm playing. I love a fast neck. I love to feel clean on the body. I don't want my sweat pooling and oxidizing pickups or whatever else. So before and after every show, guitar pump and polish all about this stuff. And that's about it, guys. Of course, I bring some practice books, I bring a notebook, I bring pens and paper for charts and stuff like that, and if I have an iPad, I'll bring an iPad for my set lists. But overall, that's what I bring on the road for a bass gig. Tell me in the comments below what your go-tos are for on-the-road gig and fret care on your guitars. I want to know all about it, and of course, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. I make videos all the time. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on IkeGuitar.